the moment I'm GM5 on tank. This game specifically, I felt like I was pulling too much resources from my team,
Right.
and I
Okay.
just ended up like not doing enough with it, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when I get in like higher elo lobbies, I kind of get a little bit nervous, and so I like don't feel I perform that well because of that. I can't really focus.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the names here, and you're playing against pretty. I mean, I know, yeah, I know pretty much like half of this lobby, like Poo Sniffer, Akka, Eggs, Hybrid, Cronus, and Sky. So like, obviously, you're playing against
Yeah,
quite a stacked lobby. I guess the thing I'll say to that is, and actually, it's a thing that I say to teams during tournaments as well, is like, no matter how high you climb, you will always like face the pressure, and in fact, it gets worse the higher you climb. Because like
yeah,
imagine like your grand finals against Crazy Raccoons or some shit. Like that is the max pressure environment you can be. So it's a bit of advice that I got from Spilo a while ago, but like just get used to the pressure that you're into now and think of this as practice for when you play against better and better players because it can always go higher from here. But yeah,
yeah.
I guess we'll get into it. Obviously you're at the level where I don't really need to explain the basics or fundamentals. A lot of this will be, I guess, either mindset based in terms of what you're really looking to do in the character, but also micro based too. So when you're playing
Yeah.
Simba into this comp, what are you thinking about doing generally? And what's your focus on?
Um, I honestly just want to mark like Anna's aggression, like with nade and stuff, and sleep, and
Right, right.
also possibly Bastion, and maybe force some CDs from the Curie. I just have to be careful when Winston dives that I like just live.
Right, right. And actually, a lot of the time, I mean, you're not playing against, I mean, their DPS lineup hasn't got any strong dive characters, so it should be fairly easy to live a dive. But considering your
Mm.
team's win con is, we'll get more value in the prolonged fight, if their Winston does get a good jump onto you, if the Ana gets a good nade, if their Bastion's unscouted, most importantly, and he's just on an incredibly strong angle, same thing with their Kiriko and Freya too, then it becomes really difficult to actually deal and live with the dive. So it's really everything you do before that is really what I'm looking for. About
Mm.
clearing angles, scouting out players, looking between your shots. So we'll see what happens here.
So
And
preventing the dive,
yeah,
right?
preventing the dive essentially, right before it even
Yeah.
happens. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Okay. It's the first fight, you didn't know what they're running, so I'll be more lenient. But yeah. Okay, Bastion on, you see there, Winston, you know that comp already. Alright, cool. Okay. 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 I'll watch this before I say anything. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so like, I mean, I assume
Yeah.
you're either going to die here or you're going to get your lamp forced out and you're probably going to, again, get a
Yeah, no, I
disproportionate
think
amount of
I die.
resources out. So, what's
Yeah.
kind of like, I guess, not even the issue, but concerns that I have when you're trying to push out this choke?
Well, I don't really have any cover to back up to when I push up where I walk to. I'd rather like clear the Kiri probably.
Right.
Walk out left side.
Right, right. So, like, it is a thing. So, their Winston's, like, staying on top left high ground, and it's really hard to clear him
Yeah.
because you can't walk up on there. So, like, actually, I think what you're doing now is fairly okay, where your team's playing in a bunker, like, somewhere in this sort of enclosed area. You're zoning off their backline. Anna can't get, if your team rotates, she can't get a good nade. She's forced out. The Bastion's not got a good angle, and you've got a fair amount of distance. So far, I'm actually fairly okay with this. But it's actually
Okay.
where you walk up to and who you're looking at. The player here, and also the shield here too, right? Like, again, if your main goal is to block off the honor nade or to block off any big burst of aggression, I want you saving your shield for that. And actually, it's where you drift off to that I have a major concern with. So, again, had you been in the mindset of, okay, I want to force out this character so my backlane can walk, where would you actually drift to? Or where would you move to from here?
Mm, honestly, I just go like left side maybe.
Like around here,
Like
like
yeah,
under the
yeah.
bridge. Yeah, that could
And
work.
maybe shoot Kiri.
Yeah, that could work. So maybe you can go over here and then actually shut off the honor and then actually start to force out these guys. Maybe get some good hyperspheres in here or here. That's fine. My only concern is I don't know how good your LOS would be, right? So if you're going over here,
Yeah.
again, the wind's going to be tasering you. You've got an angle here, an angle here. That's really hard to deal with. So I'm actually thinking of more so you actually pathing over here. You play by the car here. You've still got a good amount of distance from any of these characters. Also either Winston and the Kiriko too, but you've also got good cover Uchis as well, and it's really hard to sort of like again enclose you down from multiple different angles. Because one of the Freya's poking you, the Winston's looking at you, and then eventually, yeah, the Kiriko as well, and then it becomes really hard to live this. So you might actually live this, who knows? But again, you should probably, if the Honor gets a good nade here, you probably should die here. And actually, I don't know why Sky is not swinging around with the Freya to try and get a good
Yeah.
nade. But yeah. Okay, but thankfully, yeah, you did lift that. I mean, your backline played that really well. Like, they were playing really, really far away. You took the brunt of the aggro. Bubble's been used, Jump's been used. So, hopefully without nade, or, if, you know, the nade's the only issue here. But barring that, you should be able to walk here soon. Hopefully. Okay. Fine. Okay. Look at the killing the Winston at the moment. Okay. Boss was okay. Okay, so let's look at what happens to your backline during this entire fight. Because I'll speak about your job here in a moment. Okay. Back up a little bit there. Could you have done anything about that? Let's see. I mean, it looks to me that there's so many resources being put on you right now that now Hybrid's kind of like, again, cleared out Lamp, forced you out, cleared out Regen Burst too, and now Hybrid can just like walk in and you can't really do much about it. So there's not too much I can really say here, even though he hasn't got Bubble for this. Your Rock as well. I mean, I guess the only thing is like you can actually move back here. Okay, how do I phrase this? What's your job here right now when the Winston goes in? Like your general overarching job of the character. Not just on Sigma,
when the Winston goes in.
Say that again, sorry?
When the Winston goes in?
Yeah, when the Winston goes in, as he is like kind of doing right now.
Maybe force him out, like shoot him.
Right, that's part of it, right? So, who's going to be looking at, what are these guys going to be doing when the Winston's going in right now?
I mean, probably gonna nade something.
Right, they're gonna be going in. So, I guess my biggest concern here is, or what you're wanting to do here is, sure, you can absolutely force this guy out, like rock him, get him out, make it scary for Hybrid to actually keep walking in like this, but also simultaneously zone off these characters. And it feels like you're only doing one of those things right now, because you're zoning off the Bastion, like you shot the Bastion here, he de-peaked, that's fairly okay. But again, it's that you could be doing a little bit more in terms of forcing that Winston out. And had you actually backed up, like when you were getting, your HP was low, and had you backed up here to try and force out the Winston, as you kind of alluded to a little bit earlier, about looking to path through left side here, then it becomes scary for Hybrid to actually do anything, right? And it's not like it's costing you anything. You can still block off nade, damage from Bastion, Freya damage, etc. But you're just giving yourself the ability to force out Hybrid a little bit more. Again, it's one of the unfortunate downsides of playing Sig here, with any ground tank for generally, but yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna get out for that. Oh, maybe not. I still gets the kill. Yeah. Like, it's really hard to live through a dive when, again, you haven't got any characters that can really clear out the Winston and Kiri here fairly comfortably. But yeah, we'll see what goes on here. And again, the only solution to that really is to try and play a safe angle here, push them out or poke them out from here, or again, do that thing where you can go under and do the same thing. And then you can still have the ability to shield off nade and Bastion form and things like that. That's really the only thing you can do on the character here.
Yeah.
Okay. And were you also playing a little bit more of a mobile comp? Or not even necessarily mobile, like, but if you had the ability to rotate, you could also just, I mean, I've seen this in some comps that I run in Lucio Juno. You can also like speed through here really quickly and then try and flip the map. And then by doing that, essentially, it makes their setup really useless because the Winston's going to be so far away to actually dive you. And you can just speed past it. But yeah, obviously your comp's too mobile for that. Okay, we'll see here. I'm curious to see how you break this. I assume it's going to be with ults. Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Probably, I would guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Talk about the CD usage there in a moment. Okay. So, like, nothing's even happened right now, and you're down, you're down your grasp. 300
HP.
Yeah, 3.5 HP, and your shield's gone, basically.
Yeah.
And again, like, you need all these resources to actually, again, poke out the actual Winston, and actually make sure that when the Winston does go in, you've got shield for the Bastion and the Ana. And you can actually live the dive yourself. But now, like, if I'm the Winston, if I'm Hybrid right now, I'm, like, chilling, you know? Like, that Sigma's got no HP. I can permanently stay here. I can AFK, wait for the next cycle. Look at that. I can go in right now, actually, to be honest, because you've got no resources. Like, if the Winston goes in now, what can you do about it, right? Not really much. Not really anything. So it becomes really difficult. We'll see what you could have done about that, actually. Like, a little bit back over here. Because maybe it's just a pathing issue.
I think so. I just don't think I should go through main.
Yeah. Like you can play way wider than this, you know. And if you want to be able to poke out Winston, you can still do that from over here, or you can still do that from in this sort of room over here. You're wasting your shoulder for basically no reason. Again, going out main for basically no reason. Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate.
Yeah.
Okay. Of course, the grasp there. The Eater Bastionade is obviously not very useful.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see. Yeah, so again, too lenient. Wouldn't see the usage there early. Hopefully, Hybrid should go in here if he sees this. Yeah, he's going in right now, and now it's gonna be really tough because, yeah. Okay. Okay. You guys somehow live that. I think it's mainly mistime because their honor just didn't peak. Well, the entire team, they're barely there. Holy hell. Their Bastion's playing 10 trillion years away. Did you zone off? Let's see. A little bit. He might have zoned him off fairly well. He's just playing really, really far. That's odd. Hope he doesn't rally. Okay, you block up the Freya ults. Right, but that fight there was just like, you didn't even do anything crazy. It's their Bash and Honor playing 10 trillion years away and you shielded off like AoE damage there. That was basically it. So really fortunate that they're just not getting good angles on their dive. You start pushing this though. Rock's reasonable. Shield not so much. Okay. Okay, the nade. Yeah. So like, why? I'm not even necessarily why, but what made you look at the Winston here and not the Ana?
I honestly just think I wasn't aware of the honor at the moment.
Which is interesting, right? Because she nanos the Winston, so you know she needs to have LOS to be able to do this. So like, I think sure, if you couldn't see the honor here, fine, I could get that. But I think at the very least, you know, after that nano boost, I'm like, okay, yeah, like I need to turn around here. So I think maybe you only get naded there, but again, it becomes very scary. Your honor, yeah, but your Baptiste gets naded there too. I would expect you to lose this, but maybe not. You see more living this. Yeah, that was wild. Okay, Rock's reasonable, you can predict that. That's Suzu. Okay, fine. Okay. Shield's okay. Fine. Rock's reasonable. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, the fucking... That's... Ah, dude, yeah.
And I have like most Fluxus missed EU, I think.
Oh my days. I was back in not Sigmeta, but when ground tanks were a lot more popular last year, I had a player that always missed Fluxus for no reason. Like it was really bad. But yeah. Just be more patient. I mean, it's really obvious, but just be more patient with it. You're not in a rush though anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. That's what you good about that. Okay. I mean, the bright side on this at least is that, again, ults have equalized out here at least. And trades favor your team, but yeah. Rock's good. Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay. Okay, Nate's good shield. Okay. I mean, so far this is very okay, right? Like, you look at the obvious honor nade, you're clearing out Winston, and now look at the Winston, right? It becomes way more easier to actually walk here because he's half HP with no space. There is no dive that can happen here. So, hopefully, we'll see what you do here. Hopefully it should be fairly... Actually, you tell me, what can you do here, actually, right now?
I mean, I could just walk on the honor or the Freya.
Yeah, so I probably wouldn't say Freya because she can avoid you. Ana is playing cover and she might just run away. I would actually start doing how do I say it? We'll see if you do it before I say it. Because you might just do it anyways by proxy. Yeah, you're doing it. Are you doing it? Oh, you're not doing it. You're so close to doing it. You almost did it. What can you do here?
I can shoot Kiri.
I think that's so shooting and also macro stuff.
And just shielding off like Ana Bastion.
Yeah, that's kind of part of it. I don't want to say immediately. What puts pressure? Like what makes you win the game right now? Like not right now, but like generally, what makes you win the game?
I mean, if their Ana can't walk out here, then
what's this?
You know, that's the objective.
Yeah, so just propose the objective, right? Is what I'm saying. And you almost did it, right? But you're not actually. You're so tunneled on getting the honor that you don't actually cap the objective here, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because you can be doing two things at once here, you know. You can just be standing over here, looking at shielding off this direction, forcing out the Winston, forcing point as well, and that puts this person in a big predicament. It puts him on a timer here basically because he needs to make a move, right? If he doesn't make a move, you're gonna cap point. And that's the really important thing about playing generally brawl comps. Obviously, you're not playing a full brawl comp here, but yeah, it puts hybrid under more pressure by doing that. It's a bit unfortunate there. And look at your pathing as well, where again you're very tunneled on the honor, right? But is the honor killable here? And first off, is the honor killable? And second off, is she doing anything dangerous, or can she do anything dangerous? Not really, right? You blocked off nade. She's not doing anything to your team. And again, if you're over here, you can block her anyways. So again, force point. Look at the Winston. Put this guy under pressure. Put Cronus under pressure. And then when Ana walks out, then sure, you can shield her, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Again, a little bit too tunnel there on getting on the Ana. We'll see your CDs here. Okay. Okay. Okay, a shield. Good, yeah, really good shield there. Okay. We'll talk about the grasp when they're working on moments. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Barring that though, I do like your angle here. This is actually really good. Assuming that's how ground tank players to do a lot. Hazard players as well. But it's really hard to clear you here if you're playing Ana and Kiri. Because to do that, they need to put themselves at danger. So it's actually really good you played here. But yeah, the let's see
The grasp is really bad.
Yeah. Now it's a mistake that not just tank players do or similar players, but a lot of players generally. Where first off, if you want to pressure Ana here, do you need to W key right now?
No.
No. Right, you can just swing wide.
I do that a lot.
Right, yeah, you can swing wide, force point, and again shoot in this little corridor thing, and you'll be fine. And again, you won't risk getting naded. I've got a saying that I say with tank players a lot as well, which is you don't want bad positioning to force bad cooldowns, and this is a bad position you're putting yourself in, hence you're forced to kind of grasp it. Secondly, is the visual aggro, right? So of course Ana's like, not looking at you right now, so no need to actually, I guess grasp this. Of course, you might need to be a little bit more careful because she is so close to you. But again, I think the main point here is just play wider. You've got more time to, you've got cover to use, you've got more time to react. Haven't got the, grasp anyways, you'll be fine. But yeah, obviously the misrock there's a bit unfortunate, and then Freya almost kills you. So yeah. But thankfully, like all the prevention you did, like beforehand, made again this jump by Hyper is also awful. What is he doing? That jump is abysmal. Yeah, barring that, like again, that jump's really bad, and then he's still full HP there, which is a shock. Yeah, that jump's not great as well. He just jumps to open space in front of Ashen. Sure. Okay, but yeah, barring that, like nothing crazy. You did fairly well there towards the end. Okay, so yeah, barring that point, I think a little bit tunnel vision on the squishies. I think again you're missing the point about either forcing the point and actually looking to force at the Winston, and you're also kind of like almost autopiloting in a way with how you use your cooldowns. You're autopiloting in terms of how you move, and you're autopiloting in terms of how you use your cooldowns early. And that's costing you late fight. But yeah. Okay, we'll see. The second point's going to be very difficult against that comp. We'll see how it goes. Okay. Nate's been used. Okay. Okay. Sure. Fine. Okay, sure. Probably fine to do. I think this might be out your range to sort of move over here and poke up the Winston. But again, like any time that you can, where you can put yourself in a relatively safe position or an angle, you can shoot these guys off from high ground and then still poke out the Winston anyways. And then again, Winston can't do anything if you're poking him from here. So yeah, that's kind of my, whenever you're trying to play against Winston, again, similar to the whole first point idea where you can swing wide and play wide and force him out, but it's nothing crazy. Just a general theme or idea.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see here. Sure. Yeah, I'll talk about that positioning there in a moment. Is that might cost you? Yeah, okay, I'll talk about it now. So, how do I say this? So you move out on open space here, so you're fine. Do you need to like move all the way back here?
No, I mean I can just walk into castle now.
Right, exactly, right? And again, what can you actually, why is castle a good position, and why is it also fairly safe for you as well?
Because I can draw aggro from high ground, and I can also just back up to the mega if I take a lot of damage.
Exactly, right? Like if you're over here,
Safe.
right? If you're playing over here, it's significantly harder to be able to force out the Winston. Whereas if you're playing over here, it's a lot easier, obviously, because of the angle. But also, it's still really hard to force you out, and you're kind of the bait for your team, right? If the Winston jumps you here, then you should be okay. Your backer can see you. He'll jump out. You'll bubble. You're fine. You're safe. You've also LOS'd out anyone from high ground too. You're playing in the castle, so that's really that's kind of the pivotal moment there, playing over here. So I guess the question then becomes, why actually move back over main here?
I don't really know. I should just push castle.
It might be like it might feel dangerous doing that, moving into castle in the first place, or it just might not have come to you in terms of you feeling that again you might be leaving your backline in danger or whatever the case may be. But yeah, and of course, you know, nades like this, right, you can still shield it from high ground anyways, like you are right now almost. But yeah, been unfortunate. And again, if I see that Winston could dive in, because right now it's just so difficult to prevent what the Winston's doing. So we'll see how this next fight goes, but it's not looking good. Okay, and now we're getting some progress. Okay, now it's widening the angle. Okay, I'll look at your POV there in a moment. Okay. 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 Let's look at your POV there. I'm not sure there's much you could have done about your fair dying there early. But we'll see. Okay. Okay, whoa. Okay, what is that shield? If I'm not honest, let's see.
No.
It
does
does
absolutely nothing.
It does. It only does it for you. Like, you're. That's actually really unfortunate because had it been a better shield there, like had it been like, you know, blocking off like this, for example, maybe there's a chance Akka lives. But that's actually really unfortunate. Like, the shield placement's just not there, sadly. Yeah. I think also gonna mention here as well. Oh yeah, like again, once the Winston's actually, if the Winston gets jumped out, like if the Winston's forced to leave away or jump away, then you can actually again push your angle on high ground here and start pushing from castle. But again, that's for later into the fight anyways. Of course, you have to be careful about that, because again, it's, you know, you're going from low ground to high ground, but something to think about later into the fight. But the main thing there is obviously the shield, not great. But you can almost see like the bait here going on really, really well, like where your Bastion, your Baptiste, and your, let's see your Bastion actually, but your backlane's playing really, really far away, and you've sort of baited this dive. Had you actually been able to block off some damage here, like an Akka maybe lives, this fight becomes a little bit more winnable here. So yeah, it's pretty unfortunate there that I guess you know, your shields are a little bit off, but yeah, really unfortunate.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 I don't mind, like, I get why you're fluxing this, like, it's understandable, but to me, what's the issue with this flux?
Well, we're already down 2.
Hey, you're down 2, right? And I don't know why Cronus actually popped the Suzu here anyways, because again, I don't know why they just don't wait for the flux landing down thing, and then the Suzu just cleans your flux anyways, or cleans one of the fluxes anyways, so yeah, I doubt you're gonna get a kill for this. You might. Yeah, you do, that's crazy. My goat hybrid needs to stick to DPS, but yeah. Okay. Let's see here, after you kill the Winston. Okay. Okay, fine. Next fine, rock's good. Sure. Okay. Okay. The only thing there is that you miss some hyperspheres, really. I think your CDs there were relatively okay. But yeah, I mean, there's not too much advice I can give with hyperspheres that are specific to Sigma. But I will say, I guess it kind of comes into the same thing I sort of alluded to a little bit earlier, or kind of what you alluded to a little bit earlier, where you're playing in a high lobby. It might just be nerves in terms of, again, you having to hit your shots or not. Just take some time to hit your shots. That's really it. The extra half second goes a long way. So yeah. Okay, we'll see here. Okay, next fight. Hopefully you can let it to high ground. There we are. Fortunate.
No, I keep missing it because of the new perk change.
Oh yeah. I didn't actually know they changed it, or how it felt that much, but that's interesting.
Yeah, no, you lose a bit of distance because it activates instantly.
It's actually really unfortunate.
So unless you like tap it, like for like a millisecond, then you lose the height.
Yeah,
that you used to get.
That's really unfortunate. Okay, I mean, at least you're here now though, which is good. And again, if I zoom out here, right, like this dive doesn't look that threatening to me. I mean, I don't know what Eggs is doing specifically here, but he should be okay.
Yeah, no, he could die.
Yeah, I mean, he should be playing with his back. He should be over here with his Freya and his Zen. I don't know what he's doing over there. But again, the backline's really far away. You've got a good angle to poke out the Winston. You've got Carp being pushed over here. This looks like a good setup to me so far. So far from your end, I'm looking, this is relatively fine. Okay. So it's good. Yeah, so I guess the question then becomes, what should you do right now when they Kitsune rush? And why?
I mean, I could just stay here. Because, like, their Kitsune rush is really not dangerous if I zone off all these 3 players.
Right, so, again, here's the nuance, where you can kind of do two things at once here, where this Ana probably isn't that killable, but yeah, you can absolutely zone her off. So you still want to zone these guys off, but also, because you've got that levitate perk now, you can sort of move over the high ground, like you can levitate a little bit, shoot some hyperspheres towards the Kiriko, then look back towards the other Ana and Bastion too, and juggle between that. Whereas now, because you're fully committed to killing the Kiriko now, if I, again, press play, I would expect their Bakken to walk it a little bit more. Maybe your Freya actually does some zoning here. Yeah, like now that they're Bastion, like you could have already been on the high ground here, and actually been doing, let's say, hypothetically you stayed here, you could have actually caught out Hybrid, maybe caught him out on the exit. You could actually start to zone off the Bastion too. Maybe even levitate above the high ground and catch anyone coming over here. Like, there's multiple opportunities that you could have actually had to chase kills here. That I kind of missed. Okay. Laser back here though. Okay. Cool. Okay. Yeah, and again, this looks like you're playing way too passive here, right? In terms of dropping off the high grounds.
Yeah.
Like, why drop off it?
There's literally no reason. I can just shoot monkey.
Yeah. Your backend's not any danger. You're not any danger. Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Okay. Oh my days. Is that? Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, you could have just been right here, you know.
Yeah.
Like, that's actually fight changing. You leaving the high ground there. Because if you stay there, you probably clear out the Freya. You can prevent these guys from walking. Like, that's actually really strong. That's actually a big mistake there. I'll watch it back again because I really want to try and see like what causes you to move back here. Yeah, just really nothing. I guess like to distill it down, I suppose. Because this is like the first time that we've really seen you like, I guess. It's not even the first time actually. I think this kind of links into you playing really passively here. I guess the question should become can I hold my position where I am right now? It's kind of what you should be asking yourself when you're playing against Winston. Or am I at danger with where I'm playing? Or am I at big threat? Because I think if you have that mental check going in your head about are you at threat right now from the Winston, you should be able to hold these angles a lot more safely or a lot more commonly. Again, here in this sort of situation here, but also again in the castle a lot earlier. Which is unfortunate. And hell, even in early on first point too, right? Like even over by the car here is where you could have held. But yeah, really unfortunate. Okay. And again, I think the commonality between all those two positions is you can still force out the Winston. It's hard to clear you. If they do want to clear you, they're putting themselves at danger. I think, and again, you can still zone off the backline. I think those are the sort of four elements of all three of those positions there. That again sort of apply across those parts of the map. But yeah, it's actually really unfortunate. Oh, you could have got the Freya, she was one as well. That's really sad. Close the window. Still might get it from AoE damage. Yeah, I can finish this off. Okay. You will get that cap there because of the forcing point. Okay, I'll see it from micro-wise, from your end. Okay, fine. Sure, speed it up. Okay. Okay. I'll take Brother Rock down in a moment. Okay. Yeah, so like the rock here is obviously a little bit too not even egregious necessarily, right? But let's say you hit the rock here, right? What can Skye do about that while you're doing the rock animation?
You can just unpeak.
Yeah,
she's not swinging wide enough for me to rock, anyways.
Yeah, right. Either Skye's gonna fully de-peek this, or if he does peek, he's gonna sleep you. Either way, it's not looking good.
Yeah.
So I guess the micro here, I guess we can distill it down to if playing against Ana, shield first, poke out, play wide, rock if needed. Is kind of the mindset to take against Ana.
Yeah.
But yeah, your micro against her hasn't been amazing so far. I mean, even on again first point as well, where you just you were way too greedy for the kill. And even again, I think maybe even somewhere on second point that I'm forgetting now. But yeah. Okay. And yeah, Skye's literally just able to walk for free here, which is a bit unfortunate.
Yeah.
Okay, fix you anyways. Yeah. Okay. Okay, cool. We'll see next fight. Okay. Yeah, we'll see the rotor here actually, because it's very likely someone might die here for the rotor. And Nate's been used, that's good. Okay. Don't like the shield retraction. Yeah, so like you can't mark any. I'm not gonna be too harsh on you here because the amount of angles you have to mark is kind of insane. But I guess the important thing is prioritizing the angles that you do mark. So Nate's been used. Don't need to mark the Nate now.
Yeah, faster.
Right, so this scary person now and the Freya to become more important to mark with shield. So I get more attention to the micro there, and of course the placement is too far away. This doesn't
Yeah.
cover the entire angle, neither does this as well. So micro in terms of who you're shielding and your placement. And then what else here? A little bit of movement, you're keying out a little bit early. I think the E's okay, but again, that's more so... the E you can sort of use whenever because they're not going to be looking at you. They're going to be looking at your backline. So the E's like whatever. The big things are shield placement and who you're shielding. And your movement as well. But yeah. Okay, whoa. Okay, I mean... Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The shields for the Zen is only going to be useful up until like here, you know? Like, past here, how is the Zen going to move? You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not great shield placement. Obviously, you can just move out here, shield directly above you, or shield again. You can look at the tracer shots and still look for anyone to be to shield that. Or hell, you can even like move up quickly and then try and deter anyone from actually looking at your Zen and shoot backline, and that's something you can do as well. But yeah, I think the key thing is there's the actual rotate. Your Zen's gonna die. That's scary. Okay, your Zen seems to be fine though. Yeah, you do take that option. Okay, fine. What's point? Good. Okay, we'll see the shield there. Okay, the rock. Yeah, the rock. What is that? Oh my days. Yeah, your micro
I
is.
was gonna use like a jump or something, maybe to try and dodge.
Yeah, you're anticipating the jump. Yeah. It's funny. It reminds me of Zarya players who they get body shot by a Widowmaker and then they bubble immediately afterwards. Which again makes no sense because Widow can just stop shooting whenever she wants to. It kind of reminds me there, where you're sort of anticipating the rock there. I think what macro-wise what you're doing now, forcing point makes sense. But again, I think throughout this entire VOD, your micro in terms of how thoughtful you're playing. Again, the rock there is just way too eager on the rocks. Again, the Freya and the Ana there. Also shielding, again, not great. I think one thing that you are good at though is again being able to multitask between zoning off the Ana and the Bastion a fair amount of times. Like even on first and third point, I would say first and second point, you're doing fairly well at that. But yeah, the micro is really not up to scratch, I'd say. Okay. Sure. Okay. Fine. Feels good. Sure. Fine. My shield. Okay. Speed it up here. At this point can be easy for you, you see. Maybe. We'll see. Sure. Okay. Fine-ish so far. Looks good. Sure. Where's the Winston right now? He's still on the corner. Okay, that's fine. Nothing crazy going on so far. Okay. Let's see what you're shielding here. The Winston's are currently in. Shield's okay. Yeah, I mean, it does a little bit off into the Freya. Prevents the Bastion from walking too. Yeah, it's not the greatest shield in the world, but I think, the actual, idea behind it about zoning off these 4 characters is on point, so I'm relatively fine with that. Okay, sure. Do you take down the shield? Hang on. Oh, you took it down. Oh, no.
Yeah, I should just get that.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. And I think looking back, the thing is, looking back, it actually is good, because you're being aware of what your backline, the status of your backline, which is really important. And it also means, if you look behind you, and let's say the Winston's, doing stuff, or you can see the Winston here, what could you potentially use?
I mean, I could use Flux and force him out.
Right, you could actually Flux it. Or hell, even Rocket if you haven't got Flux as well. So again, you can multitask between zoning off the backline while also punishing the Winston, as we talked about earlier. But now, again, you're so tunneled between targets, right? Where your attention was initially here on the Bastion, and now you're very tunneled on the Winston, that you forget that there's 4 characters right now that you're supposed to be zoning off. And again, I talk about this in some of my content too, about turning and burning. But you are the one that gets turned and burned here, which shouldn't be the case, because you're Sigma, and you're playing actually, you're full HP, you should have had a good shield here, you still have Rock, you still have Flux. This guy's the one who's feeding right now. Hybrid is the one who's feeding. He's discorded in front of your entire team. And these guys aren't peeking during the dive. This should be a slam dunk fight. But it's not, because again, your mindset isn't dictated on zoning and living. It's dictated on, can I kill the Winston? Which gets you killed essentially. Yeah. Really unfortunate there. I mean, I don't know if you would have won that fight considering Eggs. I don't know why you didn't transfer Winston's fine. Transfer Primal's fine, but yeah, that's actually that's such a winnable fight. Okay, we'll see here. Okay. Okay. Feels okay. I think Flux is okay. I mean, Honor was like fairly far away there. So it was within your LOS. I think that's okay. They are punishable in other words, so I'm fine with that Flux. Let's see the shield here first. Yeah, so like it's a very small thing, and it's something that you're not gonna remember when you're playing the game because it's gonna be an in the moment kind of thing. I think with a lot of micro, you can kind of sort of link it to visual cues. So again, if you're playing against Honor, this is how you use your micro. But again, it might be a bit more difficult to do that in Flux, where if you're on Flux, you're going to be thinking about getting your follow-up shots. You're not going to be thinking about cancelling your shield here. So yeah, I'm not going to cry about you not putting your shield down too much. But yeah, of course, because of that, you will get stuck. Okay. Okay. Wasp's okay. Okay, sure. And you say Kyle because overtime. Okay. Okay. Sure. Okay. I mean, it's gonna be really hard to win. We'll see, maybe. Still alive here, though. Somehow you're alive. Okay, sure, they just fell over. I guess we'll take that. No, not having a fight there. Okay, we'll see here on defense. Okay. Already some issues. Not issues, but already a fight here already. We'll see. Looks fine. Looks okay. Looks good. What's your backline?
Yeah, no, I checked them like at this point I checked them and then I realized I was too far. Like,
yeah.
In terms of where my backline is.
Yeah, because honestly, like the angle that you're playing right now is actually reasonable, depending on how like because I used to have a double flex team and we'd have an Alari here and a Baptiste here, and sometimes it was completely fine to hold over here with 2 or 3 people here. But yeah, of course with how your fire backend's playing, I might want to think about that. But it's nothing crazy because again, this is kind of what you should be doing here. If they're putting resources into you and you can live with this, that's fine. Like you'll live this obviously, so it's not a massive concern. Yeah, okay. Okay, shooting Winston, but yeah. Okay. 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 And again, it's a small thing, right? Like it's not going to impact. It's a very small thing. But what are we shooting here? Like you visually saw no angle here. I mean, the Genji's the only person, but you can wall climb it anyways. Like you visually saw nothing, and yet you shielded it off. So yeah, and it's not particularly great. That again, a shield down into the Kyoko probably would have been the best sort of deal to do. But yeah. Okay, we'll see here a little bit back. We'll see your position here as well. Okay. Yeah, do you need to leave? It's a small thing, right? But do you necessarily need to leave? Let's do Spectre Overlay and put here. Do you need to leave here?
No, I can just stay.
Right. What does this position allow you to do?
I can shoot Monkey easier, and I can also shoot Kiri easier and Genji.
Right.
But mostly Kiri, Monkey.
Right, and you can also zone off the Ana too, which is important in case again she walks up and starts to do stuff. So again, like you've got cover here. You're fine. You're safe. You haven't got to lose all the space here. And what I'm really worried about, where this dive becomes really scary, or when you're gonna lose this fight, is you tell me when is it starting to look losable in this fight? When is it?
When the Monkey gets to walk closer to my backline.
Exactly, right? When a hybrid gets over here, when Genji starts getting over here, that's when it starts looking really, really scary. And by you staying here, it prevents that from happening because hybrid needs to go through you first, and you can again pummel him, block off heals, prevent that from going from him walking around. And it's a small change, right? But just by doing that, maybe hybrid jumps out and he starts to lose space, and then again you can actually prevent a good dive from even happening. So. Yeah, the second I see, I'm going to be very curious to watch this because I would expect hybrid to move up here. And or the Genji. Yeah, okay, this is starting to get scary. Oh, that's scary. Right, like now we're getting scary territory, And like, it looks invisible because if now like I can't say much to you in terms of again, obviously you can shoot off the Bastion Honor, right? But it's still a good Winston Genji dive will kill your backline. There's not much you can do about it. And it all came down to the last 10 seconds, like, which is unfortunate. But yeah, like your team's already lost this. I would expect them to lose this unless they fuck up the micro. Yeah, I mean you're either you're gonna die for this or your team's gonna die for this, right? Either one. But yeah, it all came down to like now the fight's lost by this point. And of course, like I'll probably talk about your micro here, so we'll talk about like your the ability to like shield off the actual honor. So yeah, she's shooting shots here, so you know where she's at. Okay. Okay. And I can tell, like, you're so tunneled and getting damaged. Like, it feels really satisfying to hit those double hyperspheres and get clear damage and farm up the flux. Like, look at your charge. Like, you're farming up a ton of flux right now. But it doesn't matter. What matters is your ability to live the dive here. And what matters is the amount of space that Winston's getting and the amount of space that Genji's getting. Rather than the ult charge. Which is unfortunate. Yeah, like now, like, the fight's over. And you can look at a fight like this and be like, you know, what else could they have done? So you got half of the flux. But yeah. Okay. Yeah, obviously the mistake there was just not holding the space and forcing up the Winston. Literally that simple.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, or the Genji, but the Winston's probably the easier target to shoot. Okay. We'll see next fight. Okay. Let's see here. There. Okay, sure. Right, and like the Hybrid's gonna either feed and die here, or he's gonna leave. Right, he's really low. Okay, okay, maybe not. He just gets healed back up immediately. Okay. That's good. It's good. Sure. The rock's a little bit anti there. Yeah. Just either use it. It's kind of like whip shot, what I say to big players, where you can save it after the Winston goes for a dive, and after he pops jump, then you can pop whip shot. Or you do it really early beforehand. Obviously, there you were eating nades, so you couldn't have done it. But yeah, just save your rock afterwards. Like, not the first time we've seen a bad rock. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. The shield here is, yeah.
Does nothing.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Fine. Okay. Sure. Okay. Okay. So like, even though I know they're using Nanoblade for this, right? But look at the angles that they have now, where it becomes a lot harder. They have to use Nanoblade to break this choke, because all the angles are down here, down this one direction here. So of course there's not much you can do against Nanoblade, apart from, you know, having to have transfer it. Like, on your character level, it's just hitting the rock onto the Genji. That's obviously very hard to do. So macro-wise, I think you did fine. I'm not gonna cry about it too much. I think over here, shield. Let's see here, actually. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe your Michael wasn't like this. The rock's fine. Your rock's more reasonable.
The grass was bad.
The grass was bad. Yeah, the rock's reasonable. Shield's not great, obviously. Yeah, shield and grasp were the slight issues there, but that wouldn't have changed the fight outcome that much. But yeah, next fight's where things are gonna be interesting. Okay. Probably should have that a little bit quicker, but fine, no, fine. Okay, let's see here. Now, if you don't win next fight, it's gonna be really problematic. Okay, fine. Okay. Walk, needs to walk, needs to walk, needs to walk. Flux is okay. Okay. I know it gets like Susan and whatever, but again, the key idea there is prevention, like making sure that they can't get a clean dive here with the actual flux. And actually, it kind of almost reminds me, not even reminds me, but who would be your preferred flux target, or ideal? I should say.
I mean, I suppose Monkey, but he has jump, at least from like this POV right here. Monkey is.
I 100% agree. Yeah, it's the monkey, right? But of course he's gonna jump away, which is the scary part about this. So I would have just kept shooting the monkey here. You can even, how can you force monkey jump?
I could just use rock, and it doesn't have jump anymore.
Right, and it doesn't even matter that much if you hit it, because you're just using it to force jump. So again, that's maybe some micro you can think about, where again, if you want to prevent the Winston from going in, well, I want to flux the Winston. Well, how do I flux the Winston? Force jump. Well, how do I force jump? Use rock. And that could have been quite nice. Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. Bastion's still really low though. And again, like their dive, a nice kill on the Bastion, but their dive is like, again, fairly scuffed here, where Winston's already his bubble, he's really in deep. And the Genji's not even doing anything. You're zoning cart right now. Like, hopefully your team, I mean, it's a primal, so maybe who knows, right? And then your Zen hasn't got trans yet, so your backend still might die for this, but at least from what you're doing, the only thing you could have done there is, again, flux Winston early and prevent him. That's really it. But yeah, from what you're doing now, I think it's fairly okay. As long as you can live, play to live. That grasp is not helping you play to live here.
Yeah.
It feels really nice, and then the Michael goes, you know, just down the drain.
Yeah.
not great grasp there. Shield's not great. Rock's good. But like now is when you would want grasp, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. Ah, it's so winnable, dude. Like, you could have had your grasp there. Maybe
Yeah.
then gets trans, and then trans is cut, and maybe that's a winnable fight. Like, this is a whole dominoes effect of, like, what could have happened there. Oh, yeah, really unfortunate. Okay. We'll see this next fight. Now, a Marcher. Interesting. So why do you go Ram here?
Honestly, I think I don't remember who, but someone told me why we're on Sig. And like I only play Ram and Sig pretty much. My hero pool is really shallow. I'm looking to expand it though. I'm working on Monkey.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't worry. What do I say? I wouldn't worry about expanding your hero pool too much. Now I know hero bans are a thing, and I know vertical maps are a thing, and I get all that.
Yeah.
But I was talking to actually like a mid-GM market player, and he literally just bans Diva on every game. And he managed he's got like an 83% win rate or something crazy like that. Even though Mal was commonly seen as a terrible character, and it's like you can really mitigate. You know, if you're on a vertical map, you can really mitigate what's good against you. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. I would start, you know, at least there's a lot of improvements you can make on Sigma as we've already seen. A lot of fights where what you've done or what you've not done have caused fight losses. I guess my biggest concern is I don't want you not working on that because you're having to work on your Winston, whatever the case may be. So I would refine your Sig or your Ramattra first before moving on to Winston.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely something you can look to do in the future. Okay, we'll see. Or you can be like every Saudi player in the world and learn Diva, but you know, by the by. Okay, we'll see here. Again, good vortex, right? Like this is really important. Again, it prevents Hyper from doing anything. Yeah, great. Yeah, bubble out. Yeah, great. Okay. What I don't get though is the D peak. So like at least like shoot. I know you might not be. You don't take damage here, right? But at least like shoot the bubble or something. And keep hybrid on the back foot here essentially. Okay, we'll see here. I want to see how you use your shield here as well because I missed it. Okay.
No, it was just a bad shield.
Okay, what are we shielding, gang?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are. Again, you need to be looking at how do I say it? I give this idea to Genji players or Tracer players a lot. It's literally all about visual aggro. Again, I mentioned it earlier on first point attack, but you really need to be looking at what's on your screen, who's dangerous, and look at the eyes of the enemy team as well. What are they actually looking at? If Arna's got a back turn to you, if Bastion's got his back turn to you, you haven't necessarily got to use your cooldowns for it. So yeah, obviously you can't see Arna here, right? So don't bother. Okay.
Even if I do see her, I do have Nemesis form as well.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
my shield like soak up an aid.
Yeah, you can definitely do that as well. Yeah. Okay, Akka is just what's she doing? Okay, fine. Okay, and like now it starts to look really scary because even though you've got what's it called Vortex and you know decent damage and decent HP as well, like it's gonna be really hard to force up what the Winston's doing here. And again, the Winston's gonna play wide, very similar to the first fight that we saw, and he's gonna go around your entire team. So I guess the question now becomes: now you know what the Winston's gonna be doing, i.e., staging around your team. What are some ways you can look to prevent that, or how can you try and prevent that?
Prevent the Winston dive.
Yeah, or even Genji as well.
I mean, just shoot main, shoot Genji, maybe use Nemesis form, force deflect from Genji.
Right, like now is where you need to go through a cycle because if you AFK and let this fight go around any longer, Winston they're gonna go for a next dive cycle. You're already down one, mind you, and it's gonna be tough, right? And now you've got transfers, so you might live it. And I expect you to because you know you're not gonna lose this fight right now. But yeah, we'll see what ends up happening because of this. Okay, but it's not going around. Okay. Zoning backline's fine. That zoning's fine, but again, like I want more prevention on the Genji and Winston. Look how wide the Genji goes, you know? Like, let's go back it up here. This should never be happening. Like, I need a vortex on this guy right now stat, you know? So he can dash out and then makes the dive way less harder to actually easier to deal with rather. Of course you can deal with Bastion anytime, you know? You can shoot him off, vortex him, or not vortex him, sorry, you can shoot him off, use your Nemesis form and you can suck up the damage, right? Bastion's not a big concern. If that Genji gets wide, like how the hell are you gonna force out Genji if he's over here? Like, it's just impossible.
Yeah.
So it's now or never basically. So again, spotting this is really important. Okay. Okay. Yeah, and again, you're actually, like I said earlier, you're good at zoning, right? Arna's been zoned. You've got a good vortex in the Bastion. It's the frontliners that are really the issue. Okay. You get sacrifice to switch around. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I think, yeah, switching Winston, Genji, Kiriko, they're fine. Cool. Okay, made it up towards the end. Okay. See, yeah, next fight. Obviously going to be stringing up some fight wins here, so we'll see. Okay.
Yeah, we do end up losing the game though, I think.
Yeah, I would not be shocked if that happening. Okay. Both decent. Okay. See what goes in on here though, because you lose a lot of HP very quickly. Okay.
Which would be good nade.
Oh, the shield, dude.
Yeah.
Really not. Again, you're greeting the shielder to be able to do damage into the Winston Genji, but you can just do it anyways.
Yeah.
It's not a big concern. Yeah, it's just still. Does the shield take that? How much damage does the shield take? Well, like it's 75, 125. Yeah. Like that is nothing. Yeah, I'm not great shield.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, I also need to check my. I also need to check my backline before I like walk up there.
Yeah, yeah.
I lose so much HP for it, and I get all my CDs forced.
Similar to first fight on
Yeah.
first fight here, yeah. That's not great.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I have no CDs.
And now, yeah, Hyper stop staging. Okay, feels okay. I mean, it's in time with the window, fine. Again, I need the vortex on the Genji. I need the vortex on the Genji. Like, you vortex his Genji and he just can't move. You just, where does he go? Yeah, I mean, it becomes more difficult for the Genji to actually move here. Okay. Okay. If vortexing the Kyoko, then also not ideal.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Okay, sure. And you can see how hard this is to force up the Winston here. If you allow him to stage. I'm actually like, it's really fortunate that the Genji's not able to do that. Because if he was, then again this would be a lot more problematic. Obviously, you're doing a good job of keeping him at bay here. You know, still. And you get like, oh my days. What's going to be backline? Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would not be expecting this out of a single Winston and a Kiri, but yeah, the idea still applies to it. I mean, they just destroy your backline.
Yeah.
And I think that really comes down to, again, you having all your resources forced out super early, so Hyper could just jump it for free regardless.
Yeah.
But yeah, really unfortunate. Okay. I think you've got like a very ranked mentality that I've seen you play with, where you are hard prioritizing getting ult charge, getting kills, getting hit points, getting the funny little satisfying hit marker thing, and that jeopardizes your ability to, you know, even if you get less ult charge, it jeopardizes your ability to actually prevent the dive happening in the first place. And I think we've seen that here, and I think we saw that first point on Sigma. I think the first point on Sig thing was like probably the best example of that happening. But yeah. Okay, and sometimes on attack as well. Okay, we'll see here. Final chance. We'll see. A minute, 9 seconds. Yeah, it's not looking good. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna zoom out here because I need to look at the Winston Genji. We'll see. Okay, hang on. Okay, whoa. What's the mistake here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just in a bad position to begin with. Like looking at my backline.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my yeah, because I guess like you're obviously you're split from your backline, right? Which is a fair point.
Yeah.
I don't think that's necessarily a bad positioning move on your behalf. I think that's more so I don't know why Eggs is playing over here. But yeah, I think that's a fair point to raise. My big concern is you can see the Genji and Winston here, hence you can prevent them from going in. Whereas you DP in castle, right? The Genji gets look at that. Like that is like that cannot like yeah. And of course I'm not saying you would have hit every single little bit of damage onto the Genji, but the point being here is at least you can prevent him by, if he goes a bit deeper, then you can look to vortex him into the ground and prevent him from getting space. That jump is scary as well. Yeah. And now it's like I can already tell this fight's over. Like I would expect you to lose this fight. Genji's in an insanely strong position right now. Winston's staging up onto a team. Like, just no, you can't prevent him now. It's too late. This guy, you can maybe prevent him, but it might be too late as well. Your best move now is to try backlines and try and zone the Ana Bastion. But that's it. That's like Genji fucks up. I thought he was gonna fuck. He's fine. Okay. Maybe Hyper's fucking up here. Okay. 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 So yeah, like I said earlier, your only chance to win this fight is to trade backlands with Bastion. Which is like, yeah, it's fine. Like, you've got that fundamental down, which is good. That's what you should be doing in mid-fight when the dive actually occurs. Yeah, pre-fight's the big issue here. Okay. Let's just see them from POV as well, because I might miss something. I'll see that shield as well.
You didn't miss anything. I just get so shielded.
Oh, okay. Okay, we'll see that later. Yeah, you just missed the Genji there entirely. Oh, the vortex. He seems right in front of you.
Yeah.
The shield there obviously not ideal. And then the vortex.
Yeah, I just throw it on the ground instead of
Yeah.
like trying to activate it because you can't activate it instantly.
Yeah. That's been unfortunate. Okay. Yeah, didn't miss too much there. Okay. We'll see how you trade backlines here. Jesus Christ, like, we're in GM, bro. Like, this is wild. My shield here might be useful against the Bastion and turret. That's crazy. But yeah.
Yeah, and I just push it too hard here.
Oh, yeah. Some of you lift that though.
Yeah, no, I should know.
Okay. Honor's dead. Trace don't benefit you as well. Hyper's gone out. Yeah, it's over. I mean, yeah, when they get their HP back up, you're gonna lose the fight. Oh, maybe you know, actually. Proof's over the go. Okay, actually, no. Honor dies. Okay.
Yeah, one camp, I think.
Yeah, really messy. Or you're just trading out backlines to one camping, yeah. Okay. 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 Fine. I mean, I'm not gonna nitpick my Kahura too much. Again, you can maybe have Vortex this, but that's really it. Nothing crazy. Okay. Yeah, the fight's already over. Again, you can see, like, this entire time, in theory, you've done your job. You've done what every single Van player will tell you to do, or every single player will tell you to do, which is zone off backline, and let your backline deal with their Genji and Winston. But clearly, that's not doing enough to win the fight here. And hopefully, like, if this entire VOD, we'll do a quick summary towards the end now. But hopefully, this entire VOD has shown you the importance of prevention and how you can lose a fight without, and nothing could have actually happened, but just by virtue of where they're staging, it becomes really obvious that you've lost the fight already before it's even happened. So we'll do some quick notes here. I think the biggest one has to be a mindset shift. Sure. Mindset, at least against dive. Shift first. Dive, and I guess some of the key things you could be asking yourself is where or like how do I force or prevent? Instead of force out, I'll say prevents. Prevent the Winston, Genji, staging, and what else into that as well. And I guess some examples of that, or like how you can do that. So ideally, you could, there's like a few ways. Obviously, like swinging. I'll say swinging wide angles, or like playing aggressive but safe positions. And what I essentially mean by that is, if you wanna play positions, positions such that if they try to push you, they're putting themselves at danger. So again, we can look at first point attack by the car, first point defense by the turrets, by the broken turrets, where you could shot the Winston. We could have seen here, even this overtime on Genji. We could have seen third point as well, as so many examples. Third point on the Genji as well. Genji, Winston. And let me think of more examples. Oh yeah, second point, 2 on defense. while you were repushing, they were about to cap, where you could have forced out the Winston jump and then flux him and then prevent that dive entirely, and your backhand's got a ton more space to work with. You could even do the same thing with Genji as well. It's a bit harder to do because Genji doesn't have to dash away against your rock because he can bet on you missing it. Winston not so much, but again, I guess the idea of being here is how can I prevent these characters from going in? This is the key question you need to be asking yourself at the start of every fight. Not just can I shoot Bastion and get ult charge, because it feels nice. But yeah, that's really the biggest thing. I guess the biggest takeaway in this entire board. I guess that links me onto the second point, which is like hero specific micro. Oh, specific micro. Again, verse honor. Play shield. Don't read past it if as sleep. Verse Genji, Winston, Rock. Well, it's not just Genji and Winston, any dive character really. But yeah, rocking early to force mobility cooldowns, then look to flux. What other micro? I'll say this. I mean, you weren't playing against it, but I'll say it here against Sombra, Tracer. Put around in between hyperspheres. Scouts. Something you might already be doing. And there's probably hero specific micro there. And then last thing I'll say is impatient or early CD. So again, a lot with your shield priority and placement, a lot on second point attack. And then hyperspheres were actually fine. You were actually hitting a decent amount of them. Only one was the Bastion on second point attack, but that was more of a one-off. I think again the rocks again links into the point too, I suppose, and also the shield. Belonging or like keeping the shield up or not. Again, like third point attack where the Winston jumped in your backline, you looked behind, which is really really good. And then again you can rock or flux that, but you took it down sadly. And again that links into like I guess the first point here, about like your general mindset, playing into honestly, I think most of the time, I think that's also a decent one-off because most of the time you were actually doing a good job at making sure that Ana or their Bastion didn't get a good angle. Even on first point where it was a bit of suboptimal, you were doing a good job at that. It's really everything before that. And yeah, if you can increase your consistency in doing that, you will climb. Or at least win these games against, again, these kind of lobbies. But yeah, any questions or queries you want to ask?
I only really have one question, and it's like, how do I get into like more of a scrim environment? Because I only really get to play ranked.
Yeah,
And
really good question. Yeah.
I feel like if I start scrimming, I will learn a lot faster than what I do playing ranked.
Yeah. There's a few ways. So one is like Discord servers. I'll link those to you in a moment, or like after. I've got a session in 30 minutes, so I'll do it in like 2 or 3 hours. I'll set myself a note for it as well. Do it on my schedule doc. Twitter's. The second one is Twitter as well. Do you have a Twitter account?
I'm really not active on like social media and stuff. I mostly either play the game or I'm like out surfing or skiing.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, you don't need Twitter for it, but there's a specific account called LFTOW2, I think, and it's essentially you tweet, you at the account, and then that account will retweet you. And people who follow LFT or W2 the people who follow this essentially are looking for players on their teams. That's why the account is used for. But yeah, it's not necessary to do it. I think Discord servers are really the main one. I'll link those a few to you where you can just sort of put out like an LFT, or like what you're looking for, or even join a team as well. So like maybe a certain team is playing at 4.5k. They're looking for a tank player. You can join that, especially in EU as well. Tank players are kind of in a drought, so you should get a decent amount of tryouts. But Yeah, I'll link those
Yeah.
servers to you afterwards. Anything else?
No, that's really it. I might look into getting some more coaching.
All right. I mean,
I think I
hopefully,
learned a lot.
that's good to hear. I mean, hopefully, again, you can actually go